curiosity gets the best of them,
and they'll
and
come
they
back.
circle back around.
Yeah.
So this leads back to when I was out the other day, right? And I was, and it's kind of a dilemma. I had bumped that deer out. I hung a camera. I backed out about 80 yards, right? And because my thought process on that was, he's probably going to come back in the evening or even in the morning, more likely, but he's going to circle downwind to try to get to wind, whatever, me being there. I mean, what is your approach on something like that? Do you take, back out a little bit and if you're going to hang and hunt, right? So you bump something, you've deployed a camera because you're in there. You're like, okay, this is a core area for him. I've bumped him, soft bump. Do you back out from that area X amount of yards and then like sit and observe if you wanted to hang and hunt, or like, how would you approach
I'll
that?
start looking at trees right away.
Okay.
Right where I bumped them, I'll start looking up. I'm looking at trees, like what tree can I go up into right now? And sometimes you have to back up. Sometimes you got to keep pushing a little bit because it's not an advantageous position.
Yeah. Because my thought was, I was like, oh man, I bumped him. He's 15 to 20 yards is where he was bedded down.
Yeah.
He had the wind blowing over his back. He had everything in his favor. Wind was blowing over his back. Nice, consistent northeast wind.
Yeah.
He saw me.
Yeah.
Kind of saw me busting through there. Super thick. He got up. So I'm like, okay. I didn't want, right there I froze. I was like, ooh. Do I want to go any further? And I was so curious. I almost did, but I didn't. Yeah. I was like, there's a bunch of travel through here. I can see there's a bunch of trails in and out of this area.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang it up on an intersection, essentially, is what I did. And I was like, I'm going to back out 80 yards. Because the way this property is, he can only go so far around me. I was like, I bet if I cut this in half, he's going to circle downwind. If he does, he's going to circle downwind, try to win me and come back to that area. Maybe. I don't know. Was I right? What would you have done in that situation?
Did you see the deer?
I saw him initially, but I didn't see him again.
So
I
you
backed
didn't
out.
see him a second time?
I left. I pulled out completely for the hunt.
Yep.
I was like,
so what I would do with that situation is learn from that. I'm not going to call it a mistake, right? But learn from that approach. So next time, if you do that, do something completely different.
Just take a different approach. I should have stayed and hung.
A lot of time, if I bump a deer, I'll just take a knee and I'll sit there for 25,
That's what minutes. I did. I was texting Levi.
I'm waiting like, is this, what is he doing? Or I'll grab my grunt tube right away and I'll grunt at him, or I'll snort-wheeze him. There's so many times where I'm walking through the woods and, I bust something up, they start blowing, I snort-wheeze them, they stop. They stop dead in their tracks and they just start meandering around again. They're not necessarily going to come back to me. Right. But you've taken that alertness. They think I'm a deer now. Yeah. And like I said, I'm very aggressive when it comes to calling, when it comes to, any form of calling, whether it's, grunting, rattling, snort-wheezing. And I don't think you don't need to be, a magician when it comes to how you're rattling, how you're blowing your grunt too, how you're snort-wheezing, because every deer sounds different. Right. I've heard hundreds of animals, hundreds of deer grunting. They all sound different.